Hi, welcome to the Aroma Specialist. I'm Renèe Hughes, and today we're going to talk about boosting low self-esteem using my 3-step process: aromatherapy, breathwork, and aroma tapping. Coming up next. Hi, I'm Renèe Hughes, certified professional aromatherapist, certified natural health consultant, your guide to mental clarity and emotional release. And today we are talking about boosting self-esteem using my 3-step process. Well, first, let's talk about what is low self-esteem? Like, what does it even mean? What does it look like? It is when we don't feel full, we don't feel like we're good enough. We kind of walk around hurt and feeling low, feelings hurt a lot, and feeling like we don't quite measure up and nobody else thinks that we measure up. Sometimes that comes out as constantly blaming other people, like they don't think I'm good enough, they put me down and this and that, when really it's an internal feeling that we don't feel that we're enough. Maybe you have a couple of good things going on, but it's not enough, and you really kind of hone in on the things that you need to work on. So you just don't feel filled up, right? Okay, so that's what we're talking about in this episode. We're talking about low self-esteem and how we're going to boost it. So now let's think a little bit about how that pattern starts usually. What do we know about low self-esteem and kind of where it comes from? Doesn't it come from way back? Don't we kind of grow up with it? Isn't it kind of because we were teased a lot? Maybe we can think back to a very specific situation where we were laughed at. And you could have been 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. And that was so traumatic for you that it still defines who you think you are today. Isn't that bizarre? But it's how our minds work. It's really, really interesting. And we can reverse it. We're going to talk about that. It takes time, takes effort, but it can definitely be done. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about those memories that have happened, those things that have happened in the past that have caused us to define ourselves in a certain way that makes us feel like we're not enough, we don't measure up. So what happens is those teasings, the things that people said, oh, you're not pretty, you're too fat, your eyes are too close together, your ears are too big, your mouth's too big, you're not funny, you smell, whatever were those things that were said about us, even though we knew they weren't true, or maybe they were true and we fixed it or whatever, and it's a way back. We still hear them, but worse, and here's the key, we're saying them to ourselves, right? And that is really and truly where the low self-esteem comes from. It really is what we've said to ourselves. It really is that self-talk that has defined us. And now we just become this person that we've told ourselves that we were all this time, because we heard other people saying it, now we believe it, and now we're saying it to ourselves. So think about this. Some of the time when you were being teased, if that was your situation, maybe it was a family member, maybe that was just the personality of your family, you crack up on each other, and that was the thing, but it kind of hurt. Maybe it was one of your best friends. And you think about the things that were said. Would you now, as a mature adult, say those things, those painful, hurtful things to your friend, to your best friend, to someone that you love? Would you do that? Would you say those derogatory things? Maybe, because some people that's their makeup and they just feel like that's funny. So let's switch it a little bit. Think about when you're falling in love and you really want to show up as the best person you possibly could be for this person. You want them to love you back, and you're just full of emotion. Would you say to this person that you're falling in love with, you're so stupid, you're so ugly, you're really fat, you can't get anything right, you smell, you're lazy, what are some others? You guys can fill in the blanks because you know the things that you've heard. And these are things we've all heard in our circles, things that people have said about other people, things we've said about people. And so would you do that? Would you do that as you're trying to develop the most important relationship of your life? Absolutely not. Because you're so in love. Like the person, everything they do is good and right and perfect. And all that you can even think to say is just loving, beautiful words because your heart is full. What if you felt those same nurturing, loving feelings for yourself? How would that change your life? How would that change the way you show up in your relationships, the way you show up for other people? Can you be more of a champion for your children, for your family, for your spouse, for yourself, for your family, for your business? Couldn't you be so much better and so much happier if you gave those loving conversations to yourself? So then how do we do that? How do we break that pattern and start to speak to ourselves in a loving, nourishing way? First off, and you're going to see this on your screen, it has to be intentional. You have to be intentionally changing the conversation that you have with yourself. And we know, we have everybody, we all do it. We all talk to ourselves. Oh, you pass the mirror. Oh my God, look at those bags. I always say that, look at that. But then you look and you appreciate the wisdom and the years that caused those little lines, right? You begin to appreciate yourself. And so instead of saying, oh my goodness, you've got that line under your eye, you say, I'm so grateful that I've lived long enough to have these little bags under my eyes and that I've smiled enough that I have laugh lines, right? And you love them and you appreciate them. And so this is the type of things that we want to be able to change the conversation. So getting back to aromatherapy, how does that help? 3-step process. Let's start with the essential oils first. Okay. So essential oils affect the neurotransmitters of our system. They affect our central nervous system. And so all those systems are what talk to one another, our hormones, the little messengers that go throughout our body. It matters what messages are being sent, to put it in simple terms. We want the little messengers in our body to be giving good, loving, positive messages to the other parts of the body. And plant chemistry can help you to do that. Plant chemistry really, really can get into your bloodstream and change what's happening inside so that you can begin to repair from the inside out. And you're able to make better decisions. And you're able to think clearer. You're able to get rid of some of the brain fog. You're able to eat properly, to nourish your body, to start taking care of it. As you do that, you begin to love yourself more and more and get in a very balanced, loving state so that you can not only show yourself more love and concern, but so that you can give it out to others too. Really, really important. So that's step number 1, the plant chemistry of essential oils. Okay. Step number 2 is our breath work. And so here's a video that will show you why breath work is important and how to get rid of constricted breathing. So you can take a look at that. But I'm going to talk to you a little bit about it here. So what we want to be doing is breathing in a way that allows ourselves, gives our body, gives our mind space for healing. If we are holding our breath, it is affecting the rest of the systems of the body. They're not functioning properly, right? Think about a body of water that cleans itself. It's got to move, right? It's got to be able to move. It's the same thing with us. If we have stagnant energy, holding on to things, holding on to pain, or holding on to disappointment, or holding it into our body, we become stagnant. And literally that breath work, by doing it consistently, by using that technique that you're going to take a look at, and doing it consistently, we're able to release some of that junk. So it's not floating around in your head and you're not saying bad things to yourself and talking badly about yourself over and over just because your body is trying to find a way to release all of this. We can be able to release with that breath work, right? That's number 2. And then number 3 is aroma tapping. So aroma tapping brings brings back the essential oils. So you're using the essential oils by having them on your fingers or having them diffused while you're doing your breathing work and while you do your aroma tapping. And you go through points on your body that are meridian points. These points are known to release and help us to release stress. It's like acupuncture with your fingers, and you're able to go through and release that stress. So that's the 3-step process. How does that help with building self-esteem? Because it teaches you to change the conversation. So as you're doing these things, your body is shifting to a naturally more pleasant, more positive state. By breathing, you're allowing your body to move and move that stagnant energy that may be causing the negative thinking. And then with the tapping, you're releasing, again, the negativity. You're releasing the bad feelings. You're releasing the things that you may have been saying to yourself. And so in my coaching, when I'm doing the aroma tapping, we actually talk about some of the negative things. So say, for instance, you don't like your ears. You, for years, were teased about your ears. You hate your ears. So we talk about that. We talk about that as we tap. And you really exaggerate. Like, I've got these big, giant, Dumbo ears, and I hate them, and blah, 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 blah. And we talk about it while we release it. So instead of holding it in and going and repeating it in your mind over and over and having it go deeper inside, we instead release it. And we have conversation around letting that go. We have nourishing conversations as we close the session to help you to feel grateful for what you have and who you are. We go in search of those things that you will love about yourself, that you do love about yourself. And those are the things that we replace thoughts with. Did you know that your mind can't think about 2 things at once? I want you to try it. Let's do a little exercise. I want you to think about making your favorite meal. I want you to visualize yourself doing it. You're in the kitchen, you're cooking, you're making the meal. And I want you to really concentrate on that like you're doing it. And at the same time, I want you to talk about how ugly your hair is. It's really hard to do. It's really hard to have 2 conversations like that internally at one time. Something gets on hold. Because while you're talking about the hair, you're not really focused on what you're doing in the kitchen, right? This is what happens. This is how we go through our life. And this is why, we're as forgetful. This is why we feel scattered. It's because there's so much junk going on in there that it's hard to just navigate regular life because we can't shut off that brain. So I'm going to teach you how to do that. I would love to invite you to schedule a discovery call. Go to my website, ReneeHughes.com, and you'll see links there that say apply for this program. That's going to allow you to schedule a discovery call with me. They're free, and allow you to see if this program is a fit for you. Either way, I've given you 3 great things to work on, and you can start to implement these right away and really make a difference in how you feel and boost your self-esteem using essential oils. Here are 3 essential oils that are really great blends that you can use when you're practicing your aroma tapping or even just to diffuse in your house as you're thinking about those nourishing thoughts, right? It's really going to help them to sink in. So joy is one of them. The other one is release. And the last one is called envision. So those are just 3 of many oils that I'll talk to you about that can help to shift your energy. And if these are all Young Living brands, if you use another brand, look at the ingredients of these and then you can find the equivalent. Just make sure whatever oil you're using, that it is wild harvested or organic or better. You want to make sure that you're staying in that lane and you'll get the results that you're looking for. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time. If you like the video, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell so you don't miss any of the videos as they come in. Share it with someone who could use it. And then whatever questions you have, drop them in the comments below. I'm looking forward to being able to answer those for you. All right, take care. See you next time.